upon a time, in a remote kingdom, there was an old king who had 3 princesses, Princess Amelia, Princess Catherine, and the youngest, Princess Charlotte. All of them had very different personalities. Relying on a rich husband, Princess Amelia was always snazzy and bought jewelry frequently. Princess Catherine spent all of her husband's family's money on food. There was no dish in the world that she had never tried. Princess Charlotte, on the other hand, had a different viewpoint. She not only doesn't rely on her family's wealth, but she was also very hardworking. One day, the king ordered all 3 princesses to come to him.
Hey, now that you're all 3 here today, I must tell you something.
Yes, we would like to hear.
Princess Charlotte is old enough to get married, and you'll marry the Chancellor's son, and you will live a wealthy and comfortable life, just like your sisters.
Dear father, I will not marry the Chancellor's son.
What?
The 2 sisters were startled and dropped their jaw in surprise, looking at Princess Charlotte.
You said what? Do you dare to say that again?
Dear father, I don't want to marry the Chancellor's son. I want to work to become rich on my own.
Well, leave this palace immediately if you don't want to be rich. Get out.
Please calm down, Your Majesty. She's just...
Calm down? What have you been teaching this girl? She's a princess and she wants to do servant work? Well, we'll see how well you do outside the palace with nothing, and you may not return until you're as rich as your sisters.
Yes, father. After being kicked out from the palace, Princess Charlotte was only given a blind horse. By the time she left the palace, no one saw her off, except the queen, her loving mother. Don't be sad. I will find a way to get rich and I'll come back for you. The queen was very sad as she held Princess Charlotte's hands. Now you follow me. When I become rich, I will cure your blindness. Princess Charlotte left the palace and sought a way to become rich from her empty hands. The horse was blind, but it still walked with stability. The princess kept going on and finally entered the forest. When it was getting dark, the horse stopped in front of a hut. The princess jumped down and entered the hut. Hello, ma'am. Who are you waiting for? I am here waiting for my son. He went to carry charcoal. How about you? Why did you come here all alone in the dark like this? Oh, I was just passing by. It is dark now. I'm looking for a place to stay tonight. Oh, really? If you don't mind my small house, then you can stay here for the night. That would be great. Thank you so much. Oh, my son has finally returned. While Princess Charlotte and the old woman were talking, Rustlin got back. 3 of them stood there talking for a while.
Hi. Hey, Mom. I got the charcoal. Boy, it's really heavy. I'll just hold it here.
Then he turned to look at the girl standing by.
Who's this?
Oh, she's our guest tonight. She was passing by, but it got dark. So she wants to stay for a night. After that, the old woman turned to introduce her son to Princess Charlotte. This is my son, Rustlin. All right, we should go inside to rest first and talk later.
I am Rustlin. And who are you? Why were you wandering all alone in the dark like this? The princess began to describe the reasons why she left the palace, as well as the purpose of her coming here. Oh.
She expressed her wish to be the old woman's daughter-in-law.
Oh.
Hearing that, the old woman clasped her hands in fear and tried to refuse. Princess, please forgive us for not recognizing you. My son can't marry such a noble person like you. I just want to live a peaceful life with my son here.
Oh, Ma, you're embarrassing me. She can just spend the night here in the house, and wherever you want to go tomorrow, I'll take you there.
The princess immediately stood up, held the old woman's hand, and pleaded with the woman and her son. I want to prove to my father that I can become rich on my own. Please help me, you two. I can do anything you want.
Yeah, okay.
There was no way to deny the beautiful and honest princess. The old lady accepted. The princess asked about all their work and daily activities. They spoke until midnight. The next morning, after cleaning the house, sweeping the yard,
Huh?
the princess had breakfast with her new family. I woke up early to clean our house. I also swept the yard and took the horse to graze.
Yeah?
I also made breakfast. You can go eat, then go burn the firewood, or you'll be late.
Oh, you're so hard-working.
Let's go and have breakfast now. Mother is waiting.
Yeah.
Now I've done all the housework. Can I go to burn firewood with you, please?
The path there is very rough. You ought to stay here with Ma.
Rustlin is right. Burning firewood is hard.
Mm-hmm.
You should stay with me, and we'll hoe the backyard together to grow corn in time. Yes, I'll listen to both of you. Shortly after seeing off her husband to go to the forest to burn firewood, Princess Charlotte and her mother-in-law went to the garden to hoe the land for new crops. She worked hard from morning to night. Oh, it's much faster to work together. Let's go, my daughter. You should go home first. It's still early, so I'll cut more grass for the horse to eat tonight. Every time after she and her mother-in-law hoed the land, she went to cut grass for the horse. Later that day, the princess told Rustlin that she wanted to sell charcoal to help him. Today, I've hoed the garden backyard with Mother to prepare for the new season. From tomorrow, please let me help you sell charcoal.
Why are you so eager? All right, dear. You'll help me sell charcoal in the market. Then I'll have more time to cut firewood and sell it.
Since then, every morning, after doing all the housework, the diligent princess started pushing the charcoal cart to the market to sell it. His wife helped him sell coal, so Rustlin had more time to go into the forest. Day by day, Princess Charlotte was getting used to the work, so all the charcoal was sold already before it came to the market. How did you sell them all so early? I have many regular customers now. I just need to take the charcoal out to sell. Besides, our charcoal is good. It's popular now. It's sold out fast. Good job, daughter. You should go take a shower and rest. Please go in first, Mom. I'll go to the garden to hoe more soil and plant potatoes for more food next season. Every time after coming back from the market, she hoed the garden to prepare for the new harvest. Suddenly one day, she hoed something hard. The princess was very surprised. She sat down to check and pulled the hard object up. It was a piece of gold the size of an egg. The princess shouted happily, "Oh, it's a golden egg!" The princess put the golden egg in the basket and returned home. Every day, Princess Charlotte worked very hard to cultivate the soil and plant vegetables. The next day was the same as the previous day. The princess found another piece of gold. She always put all of them in the basket and took them home. She got more and more eggs each day. Although being busy all day, the princess never forgot about the horse. Every day she cut grass and leaves for the horse to eat at night. Then she heard a sudden voice.
What a great horse.
The princess was very surprised.
To cure his blindness, go get the leaves and well water on the top of Fairy Mountain.
Is it for real?
Just go pick the leaves and get the water for 3 months. He will be cured.
Yes, thank you so much. The magician smiled, nodded, and walked away. Starting then, every afternoon, after the gardening was finished, Princess Charlotte quickly climbed to the top of Fairy Mountain to pick the leaves and get the water from the well for the horse. She persisted in this work for 3 months without any day off. As expected, by the end of the 3rd month, the horse was cured of blindness. Princess Charlotte was deeply moved. You can see me now, right, horse? Right? That evening, the princess asked Rustlin to let her go burn the firewood in the mountain with him. Our great horse is no longer blind. I'm also used to selling charcoal.
Yeah?
From tomorrow, I will have lots of free time. Please let me go burn firewood with you.
Well, the path is quite difficult. And you're a girl. Your arms are weak. How could you possibly climb there?
But I really want to help. I can do it no matter how hard it is. Please let me go to burn the firewood with you. Because the princess really wanted to go, Rustlin finally agreed to let her go with them to the mountain to burn the firewood. This diligent girl's very stubborn. If you don't let her, I'm sure that she will follow you. Just let her go with you one time. If she can't make it, she will just stay home next time.
I'm just afraid you'll work too hard, and I don't want to see you suffer.
I know you care for me, but I can handle it.
Well, if you want to come that much, you can come with me tomorrow, up to the mountain. But if you find it difficult, then you don't need to try so hard.
Yes, thank you, dear. Starting next day, Charlotte and her husband went to the mountain to burn firewood together. After a few confusing days, she began to learn how to cut down trees and branches. A little later, all the logs were piled up tightly around the charcoal kiln. Seeing the firewood pile getting bigger and bigger, Charlotte discussed with her husband plans to dig the second charcoal kiln. While digging, the princess saw the golden eggs in the hole. 1 golden egg, 2 golden eggs, and then the couple discovered a big gold mine. The couple were extremely happy. They secretly discussed with each other how to bring all the gold home. Starting that day, every afternoon, the couple carried a load of charcoal and let the horse carry 1 cart. In each load of the cart of charcoal, there were always 10 or 15 golden eggs. For 3 months, the couple tried to move all the gold in the cave home and bury it carefully. Then came the corn and sweet potato season. They got a very good harvest. Since then, they always had corn and potatoes in their house to eat and gold to spend on daily expenses. Realizing their gold was 10 times more than the king's amount of gold, the princess immediately asked her husband and mother-in-law to build a house. Since you came here, we've been getting richer and richer. You can do whatever you want.
Yes, dear. You're our family's lucky star. Mom and I will let you decide.
Thank you, Mom. Thanks, my dear. Then tomorrow, please go to the palace and measure it. We will build a big house just like that. Ruslan and the old woman smiled and nodded to agree with Princess Charlotte. Listening to his wife, early next morning, he went to the palace in order to measure the length, the width, and the height of the king's palace. However, the guards stopped him and didn't let him in.
I'm a charcoal seller, husband of Princess Charlotte, son-in-law of the king. As she ordered, I came here to measure the palace and build her one of the same size.
While arguing, Ruslan heard a loud scream. Ruslan was startled and looked towards the direction where the voices came from. The king, the queen, and the 2 princesses heard the news and immediately came to see who was making a fuss in the palace.
A charcoal seller that wants to build a palace? Ridiculous!
Who do you think you are, poor thing? Go burn your firewood and bring him here. Maybe we'll have pity on you and buy some. The 2 princesses turned to look at each other and burst into laughter. The king snorted with contempt, and the 2 princesses glanced past Ruslan and then turned around and walked away. There was only the queen left, who was still standing there, who sadly told Ruslan, "You had better go home. Please help me take care of the princess." After saying that, the queen sighed and turned around. Being criticized, Ruslan was extremely sad and angry. Arriving home, Ruslan told Charlotte the whole story in the palace. The princess immediately comforted him. "Well, don't be sad, dear. I'll let father and sisters know later. Now please try to be more patient."
Okay, dear. Good advice.
Day after day, a huge building, which was even larger than the king's palace, was built to replace the hut. The building was completed only after 2 months. When they moved to their new house, Charlotte asked her husband to go and invite the king and queen to come and visit them. But the king sarcastically told Ruslan to send 2 golden carriages to the palace to pick up the king and queen. Charlotte immediately ordered the casters to make 2 golden carriages and bring 3 horses to pull them. The king and 2 princesses were very surprised, but since they had accepted the invitation already, they decided to go to Charlotte's house. The carriages carried the king, the queen, and 2 princesses to Princess Charlotte's castle and stopped in front of the castle. All of them marveled at the huge castle. Everything was carved carefully with the gold and silver. They were surprised to see the house. Princess Charlotte came to greet the king with her horse. The horse was very strong, raising his head to welcome the king. The king realized that it was the blind horse that he had given her, so he was deeply moved. The whole family had a big party in the front yard. "You've been working hard. I'm very happy to see you're living a good life. How about you come live with me, please, Mom? The Queen was very surprised at Princess Charlotte's suggestion. She thought about the time when her daughter had to struggle with a hard life, so she agreed with the offer. Knowing her two sisters do not work at all, and their money's running out, Princess Charlotte gave each sister a chest of gold. In the end, the king and the two older princesses returned to the palace, and the Queen lived with Princess Charlotte's family.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom, there were two brothers living in two adjacent houses. The elder one, named Ryan, was a wealthy man. He lived with his wife named Claire in a beautiful and luxurious house. The younger brother, named Matteo, lived miserably next door in a ramshackle wooden house. No matter how hard he worked, he could just earn enough to live by. Ryan was really selfish. He hardly cared about his brother. Every time Matteo asked for his help, he would grunt and show his irritation.
Ryan, there's a big hole in my roof, but I don't have enough money to fix it. Could you guys help me, please?
You came here asking for money again, huh? I wonder when you could get better. Here, take it.
Opposite to his brother, Matteo was so kind and helpful. Whenever Ryan asked for his help, he would agree without hesitation. For that, Claire always felt shy when she met Matteo. She asked her husband to care more about his younger brother, but Ryan hardly ever did that.
Stop saying about him. It's his life. He has to do everything on his own.
Distant to his younger brother, but Ryan was very close with his two best friends, Jax and Lucas. They often had parties and gambled together. To prove himself, Ryan often showed that he was a generous man. The more he was stingy with his brother, the more money he spent with his friends. The two tricky friends discussed to each other.
We're so lucky to be the friend of this wealthy guy.
We will be really foolish if we don't take advantage of him.
Claire saw something unpleasant in Jax and Lucas. She advised Ryan to stop hanging out with them. You should stay away from those bad guys. They're just like passers-by. They would only come to you when you have money, honey. If you don't, they will surely stay away from you.
They're all my good and kind friends. Don't misunderstand and say those words to separate us.
At that time, the ruler of the kingdom was a powerful monarch. He owned a precious gold-shimmering deer that he treasured and pampered a lot.
My golden deer, you are the most beautiful creature in this world.
One day, the king was wandering around with the deer in the huge garden behind the palace. Suddenly, he felt tired, for he had been working continuously those days. Then he fell asleep. The deer released itself from the rope. He passed the fence and went into the jungle. When he woke up, he was startled that his precious deer went away.
My golden deer! Where is my golden deer? This is the order from the king. If anyone can find the golden deer, will be rewarded. But if anyone dares to hurt it, will be punished by all means.
The news quickly spread throughout the kingdom. Everyone in Ryan's village was talking about that. No one knew about the king's golden deer. Ryan also wanted to try his luck too. He brought quiver and arrows, went to the jungle to find the deer. Unexpectedly, after a day of searching, Ryan found the deer who was seeking for food in the jungle. The deer was already familiar with humans, showed no fear when it saw Ryan, and even played with him. Full of joy, he secretly brought it home without anyone's acknowledgement.
You can't believe it, Claire. I found the king's golden deer. What a lucky day. Help me prepare a feast. I'll invite my two best friends, Jax and Lucas, to celebrate.
Hearing her husband said that, Claire quickly got a plan to help her husband. Why don't you take this opportunity to test your two best friends? If they are really good people, I won't advise you anything from now on.
Test them? How to test them?
You just need to do what I told you, like this. Listening to his wife's advice, Ryan turned into a poor, filthy man. He came to his two best friends' places.
Absolutely. Jax and Lucas will help me enthusiastically, like when we're having parties together. Jax, Lucas, help me! I accidentally killed the king's golden deer today. You guys are my best friends. Please help me hide the truth and don't let anyone know.
At first, Jax and Lucas didn't believe at all, but when seeing golden hairs on Ryan's body, they completely believed his made-up story. Worrying that they might be implicated, the two friends immediately rejected.
Unfortunately, Ryan, there's an urgent problem at my house. I'm afraid that I can't help you. Sorry.
My best friend, I can't help you either.
Then they quickly disappeared, leaving Ryan startled. He returned home sadly, recalled his story to his wife. See, I was right. They all leave you now. Now you can turn to your younger brother, Mateo. Ryan came to Mateo's house. He welcomed him with joy.
Mateo, help me, please. I accidentally killed the king's deer today. Do you have any ways to help me hide the truth? Don't let anyone know about this, please.
Don't worry, brother. We'll have to bury the deer quickly, and then we'll go far away before the king knows about it.
Mateo was very worried. He hurriedly came to help Ryan run away, but Claire was already waiting with a table full of delicious food, and the king's golden deer was staying there. Realizing it was Claire's plan, Mateo let out a sigh of relief.
Oh, that's it. Now I don't need to be worried anymore.
Can you see it now? Do you want to hang out with those two best friends anymore? While your brother would come to help you immediately? Where are they?
What if they were really busy?
Then there is another way to test them. Ryan and Mateo did exactly what Claire told. They both carried a heavy stone and put it inside a big trunk. After that, they deliberately carried the trunk over a tavern. Seeing that, the two bad guys followed them secretly. Upon arriving at an empty land in the jungle, Ryan and Mateo stopped, carefully looked around. Ensuring that no one was there, they started digging a big hole, then buried the trunk. At that time, Jax and Lucas were hiding behind a tree. They witnessed everything and discussed excitedly.
So it is true that Ryan killed the king's deer. What should we do now?
We are so lucky to see where they buried the trunk. I will use this to force them to give us a big amount of money.
Then Jax and Lucas immediately came to Ryan's house to threaten and blackmail.
Ryan, we knew everything. You killed the golden deer of the king. You had better give us a bag full of gold, and we will think about keeping it secret.
Yes, just a gold bag. If not, I'm afraid that we have to report this to the king, and you will have to stay in jail for the rest of your life.
Just as Claire predicted, the two friends showed their true nature, and Ryan was very angry.
Jax, Lucas, I was so wrong. I thought that you two were my best friends. I won't give you any money. You can do whatever you want. If it is your choice, Ryan, then get ready to see the king.
Next day, they came to see the king to report Ryan.
Your Majesty, we saw Ryan brothers killed your deer.
They even hid its body in a trunk and buried it in the jungle, Your Majesty.
Guards, bring the Ryan brothers here for me.
A moment later, Ryan and Mateo were brought in front of the king.
Is it true that you guys killed my golden deer and buried it in the jungle?
Your Majesty, we didn't do anything. They accused us without any evidence.
Yes, Your Majesty. If you just listen from one side of the story and then punish us, then we could not find your actions convincing.
Your Majesty, we witnessed everything. We have evidence.
We will take you to that place so they can't deny it anymore.
Lucas and Jax immediately took the king to the empty land. Ryan and Mateo were brought after. The trunk was quickly dug up by guards following the two bad guys' instructions. But when it was opened, everyone only saw nothing but a giant rock.
Jax, Lucas, this is your golden deer, huh? Please forgive me, Your Majesty.
Unbelievable! We saw them bury the trunk here with our own eyes.
At that moment, Claire appeared with the golden deer. The king was overjoyed because his deer was still alive, while Jax and Lucas were startled.
This is really my precious deer, thank God. So you two have found and taken care of it, right?
Yes, Your Majesty. Please forgive us for not telling you sooner.
No problem. You guys are innocent.
Then he immediately ordered guards to put Jax and Lucas into jail for slandering and deceiving the king. He also thanked and rewarded Ryan brothers and Claire for finding and looking after the deer.
You are indeed the one who cares about me most. Sorry, Mateo, for I have treated you so bad. It's really unfair for you.
Thanks to the smart plan of Claire, Ryan could finally stay away from his bad friends. The two brothers united again. They always loved and helped each other. Together, they built a big house and lived happily together forever after.